Hey, what's going on, guys? The YouTuber back with another video. We're gonna continue with the Wansee Entertainment video that I chickened out on, even though you could say that it was pretty interesting nonetheless. But well, you know, first video was well, the first three stories actually were very interesting. You had the freaking creepy dog thing. You had the missing mom that was meat, which was not cool at all. Very disturbing. And then we had the third one, which is like the burglary one, which was probably the least scariest one, but how it's told is really well, and the animations are really well done, so major props to Wansee Entertainment. Anyways, let's get into the video. Link will be in the description. Let's do it. Alright, someone was living in
My name is Michael,
house.
and it happened 2 years ago. I had some friends at the time. Let's call them Dan, Sarah, and Hazel.
Okay.
We decided to make our little party of explorers exploring forests and abandoned structures and such.
Cool.
That day was our first exploration. An abandoned house just at the end of my neighborhood.
The first one. Okay.
We started walking toward that house and reached it soon. People said that it was built in the 1940s.
It looks like
it had been owned by a man who abandoned it after moving to live in the nursing home, and the house has been left alone since then. We were outside for a while, and Dan says we should go inside.
Yes, because
we decided to check out the well first, which was next to the house. The well was stone and round, which looked exactly like the same thing as in the Ring movie.
Oh.
There was a piece of old wood board covering the top.
Ring. Oof.
All of a sudden, Dan jumped up on the board like a maniac. Then his leg fell through the small opening.
Dan, what are you doing?
If he would have fallen in, we'd have been in big trouble. Luckily, he lifted his leg out of the opening and acted like nothing just happened.
Nah, he's
We
dead.
went inside, and we could smell a very strong odor emitting from inside the house. It was very gross. But putting smells aside, we came across a bunch of weird things around the house.
Like what?
Clothes packed in a freezer,
Whoa.
a fireplace with dolls inside, an upside-down table.
Oh.
It kind of looked like an art museum. Things started to get kind of eerie.
For the table.
Then we entered a bedroom this time, and the roof was almost caved in.
Oh.
Clothes with stains everywhere, and a black ooze was rolled down across the ceiling.
Oh.
I was going to puke at this point. And at that moment, we heard some distinct chewing sounds. And we freaked out, so we didn't have any choice except we were going outside.
Good.
But when we left the room, barely, we all froze. A man who wore a scruffy lime green shirt and old gym shorts stood in front of the front door. He seemed like that he didn't shower for a few months.
Bro, looks like it. Look at him.
He just stood there and glared
like a
at us with a
mole
fierce
man.
look. He slowly lifted his arm to show us. It looked like a lump of raw meat with the blood still dripping from it. That guy was chewing his arm.
Ah.
My legs were shaking. I wanted to cry at that time.
Don't
He
close your
shouted,
eyes.
"Get the hell out of here," in a hoarse voice, and we ran away. I couldn't believe what it was I saw. After that, I never met the same guy in my neighborhood. We haven't told our parents yet. And I'm still wondering, would he still be there if I visit that house again?
With a pump shotgun, maybe. Oh, no. No, I hate clowns.
This story happened in July in the year 2016.
Oh.
We had the clown scandal in the U.S., and it was pretty crazy. People would dress up in clown costumes and stalk people.
Yeah, I remember
and sometimes
that was
even do worse. My friend Miguel and I went to spend the night at our other friend's house, whose name is Milo. We showed up at his house around 3 p.m. We just watched movies and ate snacks, just regular teenager stuff. Milo's house was next to a park, so we would usually go back to our home pretty late and walk the track. After watching movies all day, we eventually got bored of it, so we decided to go to the park and walk around for a bit.
At night?
When we got to the park, the time was exactly 2:36 a.m.
Oh, no.
At first, we just walked around. talking about girls at our school and other stuff.
Right, as you do.
After we rounded a corner around the park bathrooms, that's when we saw him. There was a man in a black and white clown costume with no mask on, standing by the swings. He was looking at us with his head slightly tilted over to his right side. I mentioned that he had no mask, so we could clearly see his face. The man had a really dirty face with long, black, greasy hair. And he had a creepy smile on his face.
No!
His smile was almost stretched cheek to cheek. Even though he was pretty far from us, we could still see that he was staring right at us. We got nervous and scared, so we agreed to run back to Milo's house, since we were on the side of the park. We started the countdown in a whisper. 3, 2, 1. And then we started running as fast as we could back to the house.
Hold it!
After running for a minute, we made it to Milo's street and started running again toward his house in the middle of the road. When we made it to his house, we turned around to look down the street. And to our horror, we saw the man in the clown costume standing at the end of the road, only illuminated by a streetlight. He wasn't running or walking towards us. He just stood there. However, we were all sure that he followed us. And down in his hand, we were able to see that he was holding a long, sharp kitchen knife.
He's gonna throw it.
We pounded the front door, ran inside Milo's house, and went into his living room.
He killed him.
Milo asked what was going on, so we explained everything that just happened. He has one of those doorbells with a camera in it. So we sat in silence watching the monitor on the wall. We then saw the man walking down the street looking left and right at each of the houses, probably checking to see if we were hiding. That clown guy finally stood just in front of Milo's house. We all got shocked, but we tried not to scream at all.
I'm shocked.
And all of a sudden, he was looking through that camera lens of the doorbell.
Oh, God, no.
That was the creepiest moment I've ever had before.
Bro, I'm gonna have nightmares.
Luckily, he kept walking down the street, and we never saw him again. And we've never spoke to anyone about this story. And to this day, I wonder what could have happened if we didn't decide to run to Milo's house when we did.
Bro, you would have been murdered. Look at him. He's staring at you. Ooh.
Hi, I'm Evelyn, and I'm 13 years old. This happened when I went to my stepbrother who lives overseas. I was staying there for a week, and one day I went to a local market with my sister-in-law, her daughter, and my mom to buy groceries. After we bought some vegetables, my mom and my sister-in-law wanted to get some bowls and cups. But I didn't really care about it because I just wanted to go home already. I was tired of walking. As we were walking to another shop, a guy who looked to be in his 40s or 50s came up to me and gave me a flower.
Bro, you're 13.
To be honest, he looked kind of innocent at first.
No.
I didn't think that my mom or the others noticed what happened because they just entered the shop. Well, now I feel like I should tell you the fact that I look older than I actually am. Because of the way I dress, some people think that I'm 16 or 17.
Still, that's
Anyway,
underage.
I will go back to the story. When he gave me a flower, I was a bit surprised, but just thanked him for it. And before I turned to go, he then asked me if he could give a hug.
No, he's
I
gonna
got a
abduct
little
you.
scared because I always see lots of stuff on the internet, so I knew that I shouldn't let him hug me. I tried to give him his flower back, and I kept telling him that no, I'm not really comfortable with hugging strangers.
Good.
But he kept insisting that he wanted to hug
He's
me,
gonna pick you up,
and I refused again and again. After he understood that he is not allowed to hug me, he seemed to have given up. So I thought it was over and turned around. Then all of a sudden,
Boom,
he
he's got
grabbed
you.
me
You're
and
done.
tried to kiss the back of my hand.
Oh!
I immediately pulled my hand away, and at that point, I was scared but really angry too. I knew that my mom was in the shop, but the road was quiet, so this situation was enough to make me afraid. After I pulled my hand away, he seemed surprised, like I did something wrong to him. Then he asked me if we could get married.
What
I was
the frick?
asking
Dude, this
myself
guy
if
must
he
be
was
on
joking or
something.
something. I
Dude, he's
refused
gotta
it,
be
of
on
course,
something.
but then he asked if he could have children with me.
Oh,
When I looked
that's
up at him,
nasty.
he was smiling and looked happy.
Oh!
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was literally shaking. At that moment, a miracle happened.
Better
I'm
be your
not sure if
family.
he saw another girl or he just realized there was no point in trying anymore.
Good.
But anyway, he said, "All right, have a good day," and walked to the other
Good.
side of the road.
Get out of here.
I was relieved that he gave up, so I rushed into the store. I got next to my mom, but said nothing. And on our way to the car, I threw the flower away, feeling disgusted.
Good.
I could come back home,
That's what you should
and
do.
I felt thankful that I would be here with my family.
Uh-huh.
After that, whenever I go outside, I always beware of everything and never receive any stuff from strangers.
Good. Except, oh gosh, not a delivery guy, dude.
My name is Chad,
Chad?
and this story took place when I was about 12.
Chad.
I was at home with my mom since my dad was going to be out all night. 3 of my best friends came to my house for a sleepover party.
Boys' night.
We sat in my room playing PlayStation and
Let's
watching
go.
TV. Soon, we noticed it was getting pretty dark outside.
What was the time?
Mom ordered pizza for dinner, so when the
Yeah.
doorbell rang, we knew that the pizza had arrived.
Woo! Everybody
When
head
my mom
downstairs.
opened the door, my friends and I were just right next to her
Oh, wait, what was the
because
story?
we were
Oh, wait.
pretty hungry at that time.
Uh-oh.
So we waited for her to take her money out and pay for it. The pizza delivery guy seemed like he was in his mid-50s and looked pretty old. While my mother was
It's like
taking her money
motionless,
out,
dude.
he looked at us,
Oh!
and all of a
Not-
sudden, a creepy grin appeared on his face,
Oh! No!
and his eyes were wide open. It was kind of weird, but we just laughed it off.
Nah, it's
We
just
didn't
pizza.
think much of it.
This is a pizza guy. You
My
know,
mom
he's not
handed him
a
the money.
creep or anything.
The pizza guy gave us the pizza and then left.
Not the.
We took
look
the
to
pizza into
side
my
of
room and
hat.
watched Netflix while we were eating it.
Nice.
A few hours passed, and my mom came up to our room and said, "It's time for you guys to go to bed.
Never.
If you need anything, just let me know." My friends brought sleeping bags from their home.
Nice.
So we all got ready to go to bed and lied down.
Yeah.
I turned the lights
Like
off
worms.
and went into my bed. We talked to each other for about 45 minutes
Oh,
until it
yeah.
was around
Always
11:45, close to midnight.
Oh, what?
And we eventually got tired of it.
What?
We closed our eyes, not saying a word to one another.
They were 12, so.
Later that night, I heard rustling coming from the backyard. It sounded like someone was walking on a pile of leaves.
All right, Chad. Remember.
At first, I
Alpha
thought it
male.
was a cat walking
Get
around
in
looking
there,
for
Chad.
food as they usually do. However, the next thing I heard was a loud thump.
Oh.
It sounded a lot closer and like it was hitting my wall.
Oh.
At that time, we already all got up from our spot and
All right,
heard
Chad.
it. We were so scared
The
to look
alpha.
outside through the
Alpha
window
Chad.
and check what was going on.
Go in. Punch that guy right in the face.
Then
Oh.
saw a
No, no,
hand
no,
on the
no.
window, lifting it up much higher. We all screamed with fear, and the guy still tried to crawl in. But one of my friends thought much faster. He
Good.
locked the window, and we all ran out of my room. Then our house security alarm started going off like crazy.
Good.
My mom, who was sleeping in her bedroom, came out, turned it off, and asked what was going on. We explained what just happened.
There's
and
somebody
looked
at my
the cameras,
window.
which were set up outside of our house. There was a guy quietly trying to come down a ladder. I realized the thump on the wall we heard was a ladder.
That was a
Mom
loud
quickly
thump,
got out her
dude.
phone and called the police. We locked all of the doors and came back to the monitors to look at the cameras. And we saw the man opened our backyard shed and hid in there. In just a few minutes, the police were already arrived. 3 officers
Was that a
went outside
Challenger?
searching for the man, while we gave information to the other officer. And we told him that we saw the man going into the shed out in our backyard. One of the police was holding a gun, and the other 2 were approaching closer to the shed. In the blink of an eye, they had entered the shed, found him in the shed hiding, put him in handcuffs to arrest him.
Yeah, get him out
They
of here.
brought him out front and put him in the back of a police car. That time, lots of people heard the noise, came outside to see what was going on.
Get him out of here.
And surprisingly, the cops found some things like a knife, hammer, and other from his pocket.
That was in his
As
pocket?
he was in the back seat
How
of
does
the
it
car,
fit? How is he
he
not
looked
getting
at us
stabbed?
and gave us a creepy grin
Oh, not
with
again.
wide eyes.
Not again. Stop
At
it.
first, I couldn't see his face clearly, but when I concentrated on focusing it more visibly, I was shocked.
Dude, that's me.
It was the pizza delivery guy.
Oh my gosh.
After that, the police handled the situation, so we could go back to sleep again that night. I don't know what this guy would have done to us if he had successfully got inside.
True horror sleep paralysis story. Oh no, dude. Oh, this one's. Ooh.
My name is Drian. Sleep paralysis happened to me very often until I turned 22. The first occurrence
this
was
will be
when
the
I was
last one.
12. It was summer break time, so we were having a sleepover at my aunt's house for a week. All my other cousins around my age were also there, so I was really excited during that time. One night, all of my cousins and the adults in the house were asleep. I was the only one still awake, playing games on my cousin's laptop. I was not scared at all staying up that late because my other young cousins were in the same room as me.
Exactly.
After I finished playing games, I went to bed around 2 or 3 a.m. I passed out quickly.
Yikes.
Then, I woke up by something that I didn't know, and I couldn't move my body.
Oh gosh.
I could
no.
only see my surrounding area and my other cousins asleep. I panicked and struggled to move. Finally, I was able to wake myself up, so I got up and immediately ran to my aunt's room. It was the first time I had experienced that kind of situation,
Ooh.
so I was crying a lot. She comforted me and let me stay with her until morning. That morning, I did some research on what it was and realized that it was sleep paralysis. Well, they said it happened to many people, so I just thought it was a normal occurrence. Weeks, months, and years passed. It still happened to me. But I was not scared of it anymore because I got used to it. I already knew what to do when it happened to me. A few years later, my parents left the house to work overseas. So
By
it was
yourself?
just me, my younger brother, and my older male cousin in our
Okay.
house.
Okay.
One afternoon, it was our grandmother's birthday. I was tired of playing computer game tournaments online all night and needed some sleep. So I decided that I wouldn't go with them. I told them that I would catch up with them in the evening. I went to bed, and again, sleep paralysis occurred. It really pissed me off because I needed some rest so I
Honestly,
could go
though.
to the birthday party and not look tired. I couldn't move my body but could still see the surrounding area. But then, something was different.
No.
There she was. I saw the
See?
silhouette of a woman.
Oh.
She was wearing a black dress.
Oh gosh.
I couldn't tell if she was wearing a veil or it was just her long hair that almost covered her face. And furthermore, I couldn't completely see her face
Bro, her
because
eyes
it
were
was
ripped
all
out.
blurry.
Something's messed up with her.
I was so scared. What was going on here? She was just standing by the door looking at me as I struggled to wake myself up. She looked like she was smiling, and all of a sudden she jumped towards
Whoa!
me and grabbed me. She was trying to get inside my body. I resisted and struggled, but couldn't scream at all. After some struggling, I was able to push her back and woke myself up. I screamed
Bro,
and
that's
was
like
really
some
scared,
demon
so I
type
left the
stuff right
house
there.
and went to the birthday party. All my cousins asked me what happened, and I explained it to them. They gave me some advice to just pray before I go to bed. So I took their advice and prayed, but it didn't work at all.
Oh gosh.
It was really scary because it was the first time that I saw someone or something.
A demon.
2 years later, me and my brother moved to Italy with my parents, and we shared the same room.
Well, that's
And
good.
one night, I went to sleep, but
not
my
over.
brother was still awake,
not
playing
over.
computer games. Again, I saw the same dark figure of a woman from back in our old house. She was at my feet, grabbing my legs,
no.
trying to pull me down. I tried to struggle and really wanted to scream for help to my brother, but I couldn't do it. I could see my brother looking at me with a confused face. He thought that maybe I was just dreaming and talking in my sleep. The idiot even laughed at me. I was
probably
just
a
trying
younger
to
brother,
resist and not get pulled by the dark-figured woman, and after some struggling, I was able to wake myself up. But this time, I still saw the dark-figured woman, but my brother couldn't.
Oh, God.
I pointed my finger at it, but my brother still didn't see anything. He just said there was nobody there. And seconds or minutes later, it slowly faded.
Oh.
I told my mother about it, and she didn't really believe me and even told me that it was because I didn't go to church and pray. Another night, sleep
not
paralysis
again.
occurred again, and I saw this woman again.
Oh.
She was really close to me, but I still
Don't
couldn't see
whisper
her
anything,
face.
please.
It was all black and blurry. And this time, she literally talked to me. She whispered into my ear,
Gosh.
I will give you anything you want. Money, fame, glory. All you need to do is let me in.
No!
I told her, no,
Yeah.
please leave me alone, and woke myself up again. That was the last time I saw her.
Good.
That was in 2017, and now it's 2019. I'm 22 now. I'm not scared of sleep paralysis, but the only thing is, I'm just scared of that dark-figured woman.
She'll eat you. Whoa. Whoa.
Yo, dude, those videos. My gosh. Dude, the clown one? Bro, I couldn't even handle that one. Literally, like, my heart was racing the entire time. It was literally, like, non-stop, just going, do. Oh my gosh. That one was easily the scariest one for me. I mean, obviously the pizza guy one, that one was also, like, as it said, really creepy. But I don't know, it's like, I hate clowns. I really hate clowns. I do not like clowns at all, in the slightest. At all. And so, also, in 2016, when they mentioned that little, like, whole clown thing, yeah, that happened. When in Halloween, when I went over to my cousin's, that happened. Literally, there's this guy dressed up as a clown with, like, a chainsaw. Dude, I'm not even joking. Literally, it was so scary. But whew. This video will be linked in the description below. Please check out Wansee's channel, because they do like a weekly uploads. So, you know, you're bound to find something pretty interesting if you want to see them. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, consider subscribing, and yeah, y'all have a good one. Or will you? I'm so sorry.